here comes the peppery part. Hi friends, thank you for joining me. Today I'm in Chania on the island of Crete, the southernmost and biggest island in Greece, nestled in the Mediterranean Sea, abundant in outdoor activities, music, culture, and food. I've been in Greece for 6 weeks now, and along the way, the one question locals have for me is, have you been to Crete? I have made it, and I'm staying in Chania where we'll be focusing this episode. I'm here for a month, but in the last week, it has become very clear that Cretans have their own way of life. They have an intense appreciation for food. They operate much of the year on seasonal produce and have a deep understanding of applying ingredients in the best way possible to benefit you nutritionally while fostering the land in which they inhabit. I'm here in Chania to explore Cretan food, and I'm so excited for you to join me. I'm starting my morning off with a traditional Greek coffee from MONOGRAM coffee roasters here in Old Town. If you want to order it like a local, you would say Elliniko, which means Greek. And that lets them know you want the traditional Greek coffee. You can order it sketo with no sugar, or metrio like I did, medium sugar. A cool thing we learned about this coffee roaster is that they're actually sourcing their beans from the oldest coffee roaster in all of Greece. Today, I wanted to have the traditional Greek coffee. So good. It feels like you're in Greece. You gotta have the Greek coffee when you come here. I love starting my days like this, just walking through the old town, grabbing a cup of coffee, and just getting lost through the alleyways. You can appreciate these warm colors of yellow, pink, orange, mauve, the greenery. You've got to spend a day in Old Town Chania and experience this for yourself. You can see the Venetian and Ottoman influences throughout the town. Starting off at KORMORANOS, having a traditional Cretan breakfast. I'm having the dakos, kind of like a toast. It's rusk bread, which is typically made from barley, and it's topped with fresh grated tomato, mizitra, which is a sheep and goat cheese, and a kalamata olive on top. Wow, it's so refreshing. Even on a day like today, it's not very sunny, but the cheese, the cold tomato, and the rusk is so good. And as a matter of fact, you always think that the rusk is going to be a little harder to bite into, but it's very crispy. It's a twice-baked bread, so it breaks immediately. It's so nice. And some olive oil on there as well. A quintessential classic is the Greek yogurt. This is a strained yogurt, super thick and hearty, and they serve it with Cretan honey, which is very popular on this island, and some nice sliced almonds. You can eat a bowl of this and not be hungry until a late lunch. It's so hearty and creamy. This is a full-fat yogurt. You can taste the freshness in it. It's filling, it sticks to your bones and your stomach. It's so good. And the honey is the perfect amount of sweetness to it. The Greek yogurt here is not served sweetened. They'll add honey to it for you. To go with this breakfast, I'm having the malotira tea. This is a local Cretan tea from the White Mountains. It has been drunk over centuries. It has medicinal purposes and it tastes really good. I actually had this for the first time yesterday and it's my favorite right now. I love it. It's got everything you want in tea. It's got a nice little warmth, almost chamomile flavor to it. It's made from these flowers that grow up high in the mountains, and it's just perfect to go with the yogurt and the dakos. Our next stop is at this bakery called MITRAKI KAITI. Now, I read a lot about this bakery on different blogs, so I really wanted to come out here and try it. It's about a 10-15 minute walk outside of the old town. When the weather's beautiful in Crete, you can definitely make the walk. It's not a problem. They actually have run out already of a lot of their baked goods. Bakeries here are really bumping in the morning, and then around noon time, which is about the time that it is now, they're kind of slowing down. They only produce what they can sell because it has to be as fresh as possible. but I was able to get a kalitsunia. This is the kalitsunia with spinach and mizitra cheese. Look how fresh and green that spinach is. You can tell it was sliced chiffonade, which is in those strings, blended with the cheese, and then they kind of make it like an empanada shape and they fry it. Whoa, this is really good. There's a little bit of mint in there, kind of a little secret ingredient I didn't expect. Excellent. I see what she's talking about now. They make everything super fresh because the spinach is cooked, but it's not soggy. You can tell it's not even like turning brown. It's green still. You have a nice crunch in there. And the pastry dough is excellent. It's not greasy. Wow, check that out. That's so good. The second kalitsunia is the kalitsunia with mizitra cheese and sesame seeds. This square pastry here, they fill it in the center and then they fold over the pastry dough on the sides. Not quite a phyllo dough, it's a little thicker than that. They're the same pastry, but they taste different. This one's got that sesame nuttiness to it, and the mizitra is very crumbly. This one is served room temperature, and it's just like a nice on-the-go one. My favorite so far is the spinach and mizitra, but this is really good too. We're back at MITRAKI KAITI, and they had the pastries ready for us. First one I'm gonna try is the linarakia, and this is a traditional Cretan pastry originating in Heraklion. A sweet pastry crust with sweet cheese in it, and then they douse it with some cinnamon to order. So good. I've had this once before, but this one is especially good. There's honey in that cheese, and it's kind of like a ricotta type of texture, but it's very soft. It has a great balance of sweetness to it, and the crust is like a pie dough. The woman told me I was gonna like this one a lot. She was right. This is really good. It's kind of like a mini pie. Next is the sfakiani, another traditional Cretan pastry, and it is like a pita with cheese mizitra inside. The wonderful thing about it is that they dress it in fresh Cretan honey when you order it. So they fold it like this, and it's kind of like a Cretan quesadilla almost. Check this out. Look at that honey. Beautiful. Let's try this. Wow. That crust pita is so doughy. And there's just enough mizitra in there to get the cheese flavor, but it's not overwhelming. And the honey, man, it must be good to be a kid in Crete because it makes you feel like a kid when you're eating it. Wonderful. They made these fresh for when we got here because they ran out from this morning. This bakery is bustling. Last but not least is the maratopita. This is the savory version of the sfakiani. They're very similar in the crust dough on the outside, but on the inside you have spinach, fennel, a little bit of mint, dill, and let me see if I can open that here. Wow, look at that. It's packed with flavor. I can smell it. It smells like dill and fennel. Wow. A little goes a long way. All the dill, the fennel, and the spinach. This one, the crust is slightly doughier. It's got a nice chewiness to it. Now I see it was worth the wait. They told us to come back. It would be worth it. And man, I'm so glad we did. This is wonderful. We are at the place I have been waiting for. This is BOUGATSA Chania, and they serve strictly BOUGATSA here. One kind of BOUGATSA, and it's filled with mizitra cheese. This is a traditional Greek pastry that is cheese enveloped in a phyllo crust that is extremely thin. And here at BOUGATSA Chania, they make that phyllo crust especially crispy. So I cannot wait to try this. The cheese is just oozing out onto the plate. Look at this. The gentleman inside is chopping it up and he cuts it for you into these squares, and the cheese just oozes out immediately. But look how beautiful and flaky this crust is, like a cracker. Wow. Let's give this a try. Can't wait anymore. Oh my god. It's everything I could have hoped for. And it's piping hot. Wow. I say this every time, but good ingredients speak for themselves. You don't have to add anything to this. It's 2 ingredients, well, 3. Butter, which makes the phyllo dough, and the mizitra cheese. And you bake it, serve it piping hot. I'm gonna have one more bite before I throw in the sugar and cinnamon. Look how sticky that cheese is. Oh man. This is a Cretan breakfast. It is basically one of the foods of Crete, and I can see why. It's another thing that you can have and just go on about your day. It's very filling and satisfying. So good. Let's try some sugar and cinnamon on there now. But I guess I should say the mizitra is tart, tangy. It's not quite as sharp as a feta, but it definitely holds its own in anything you put it in. You taste it immediately. Sometimes it's more soft, spreadable, and sometimes it's more dry and crumbly. Here, as you can see, soft, spreadable, melty, gooey, cheesy, 1000%. So on the tables, they have sugar and cinnamon for you. Got some sugar, got some cinnamon. I'm only putting it in the corner. All right, let's try that. Okay. It's still really good. It's all based on your personal preference. It's got a little sweet cinnamony kick to it. I probably could have put a little bit more sugar, but I like less sugar, so that's what I'm gonna go with. But the cinnamon is great. It doesn't disturb it at all. It still very much just has, since it's so hot, the aroma of the cinnamon comes out immediately, so you really taste it in there. It's amazing to be eating this BOUGATSA, and at the same time I'm watching the gentleman inside cutting and portioning the pastry. He cuts it and then he weighs it on a traditional balance. All right, last bite. I'm so sorry to see this go, but I will be back before we leave Chania. I promise you. Amazing. We just met the owner of the shop, Yanis, and he was talking to us about what makes this BOUGATSA here so special. It's actually, the phyllo pastry is made with olive oil instead of butter, which, if you remember a few moments ago in the video, I said it's butter, the phyllo pastry, but here in Chania specifically, it is made with olive oil because they have olive trees. And the cheese is specifically sourced here from the Chania region, which you will not find anywhere else. Those are the things that make this BOUGATSA so special. And Yanis is extremely proud of his product, and it really shows because it is delicate, elegant, and absolutely delicious. Greece is the 3rd largest olive oil producer in the world, and here in Crete, driving through the mountainsides and the highways, you can see how it seems like almost every inch of land is covered in olive groves. And as a matter of fact, at least a 1/4 of the island itself is dedicated to olive groves. So today we're here at TERRA CRETA olive mill to do a tour of their facilities and try some of this amazing Cretan olive oil. We just finished our tour through the TERRA CRETA olive mill, and the last portion of our tour was to learn how to taste olive oil. So I have one of their varieties here of extra virgin olive oil. First of all, look how beautiful this oil is. This bright greenish yellow color. You place the cup in your hand and you cup it so that the warmth of your body helps raise the temperature just slightly of the olive oil. You place your hand on top and you stir like this. You can put your back into it if you want. And just stir for about 15 to 20 seconds. And what you're gonna be looking for is you're gonna spread the olive oil around your mouth. You're gonna be looking for pungent, bitter, and peppery flavors. Let's try this now. It smells, oh, I have to mention, all the olive oil coming from this mill is koroneki olives. So the aromas are almond, herbs, fresh cut grass. So that's definitely what you get here. And it's releasing the aromas in the cup when you cover your hand. So it just expresses immediately. Here comes the peppery part. As soon as you swallow, you get this expression of pepper in your throat. The first time it made my eyes water. It is very peppery, but that is actually what you're looking for. That is the polyphenols at their maximum height. That is where the nutrition is, and it's amazing how peppery this is. If I would have tried this at home not knowing, I would have thought the olive oil was rancid or something was wrong with it. I had no idea how peppery olive oil could be. This is incredible. So now we get to try all of their varieties. This facility only produces extra virgin olive oils. What makes the olive oil extra virgin is if it has an acidity anywhere from 0.1 to 0.8. Most of these olive oils are between 0.1 and 0.6, so it's very good quality olive oil. I'm tasting their early harvest olive oil. These are from koroneki olives that have been harvested in October, which is the beginning of the harvesting season. So I place my hand under and one on top and stir it around to release the aromas. And then I'm gonna take a nice big smell. The further away you can place your nose from the cup indicates the purity and the quality of the olive oil. I can smell it from here to here. It smells fruity, bright, like fresh cut grass. It smells amazing. Let's try it. Swirl it around your palate, then you're gonna suck in through your teeth, and then you'll ingest it. It's so creamy. Wow. It's not coming through as peppery as it was before. The initial 2 tastings I did, I was like coughing. But I think I've become accustomed to it now, and my palate has been coated in now like 4 or 5 varieties of olive oil. This is to be used on salads or just eaten raw. But something I learned is that you can actually fry with extra virgin olive oil up to a degree of 374 degrees Fahrenheit. After that, then you start to lose the nutritional content and the polyphenols. But you can, in fact, cook and fry with extra virgin olive oil. So good. That was an amazing tour. I learned so much about the olive oil making process, something that we eat every single day and don't really think twice about. But man, there's a lot that goes into it, and there's actually so many characteristics of olive oil that can tell you whether it's a good quality olive oil or if maybe you should skip it in the aisle. But I want to give a special thank you to Leah, our tour guide. She was so patient and kind and really made our tour so much fun and showed us how to properly taste olive oil. The one that I got that we wanted to take home is their TERRA CRETA Platinum, which is the 0.3 low acidity. One of the major things we learned is the lower the acidity, the higher quality the olive oil is, and the more you can taste the characteristics of the olives. Not too far from Terra Creta, in the village of VOUVES, is one of the oldest olive trees in the world. A 3,000-year-old olive tree that is still producing olives to this day. Let's go check it out. This is the ancient olive tree of VOUVES. This is an incredible natural monument. It's impressive when you see it. It hardly fits really in our screen of our lens camera, but when you see it in person, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. This trunk that's gnarled and even hollow on the inside, kind of like creating a cave canopy under the trunk of the tree, is something I've never seen before, and it's full of olives. You can literally pull olives from this tree right now and produce olive oil still 3,000 years later. Wow. I just walked over to the other side and you can see the cavity of the tree even better from this angle. Look, that's amazing how it's also supporting the weight of the tree and the branches. We're at CHARMA. This is a local Cretan brewery up here in the mountains of Chania. I'm having their Dunkel, German style beer with a Cretan twist. So good. Refreshing, malty, barley flavors. A lot of barley is used on this island. I see that, and so it just makes sense that it's in the beer too. Andres got their Pilsner, a nice light refreshing beer, something to drink on the beach, the amazing beaches out here in Chania. Oh yeah, perfect. It does feel very fall today. It doesn't rain much in Crete, but over the last couple days there has been talk that it's going to rain. It's like an event. So the rain has arrived. It hasn't rained today, but it rained yesterday, and we have some nice cloud cover today, which is not a bad thing. When you get so much sun, you don't mind a few cloudy days to kind of mix it up a bit. So this Dunkel is perfect for the weather today. We ordered their Cretan meze. They actually have a really nice menu as well as specialties, including like stuffed mushrooms and chicken schnitzel. But we wanted to try the Cretan meze because it has bureki. This is a classic Cretan dish. It's zucchini, potatoes, and bechamel in a casserole. But we've got sausage, tomatoes, olives, tacos, a bunch of tzatziki, and grilled chicken. This is a great platter for 2 people. Let's go ahead and try the bureki. I have not had this before, but it's been on my to-try list because it's got all the things I like. Wow, that's delicious. It's like a vegetarian moussaka. The potatoes, the zucchini. You can find zucchini in almost every dish here. I see it everywhere on menus. You see people growing them in their yards. It's a big vegetable here. It's really good in this bureki. I love it. It's got that cheesy kind of flavor, like a mac and cheese, like a mac and cheese casserole. And that potato, man, that's a really good dish. I'm gonna try some of this sausage. I'm gonna get a little bit of tzatziki too. Look at the beautiful color of the sausages here. Oh wow, that with a beer, come on. A little bit of spiciness to it in there too. All right, now I'm staying in Crete, never leaving, forget it. If you're gonna visit CHARMA, the Cretan brewery, you must not eat before you get here. Don't worry about it. This is not like other breweries. There is a full menu here and the food is excellent. We asked for our check and now they brought us these nice little bonbons for dessert. So you will also get dessert with your beer. We've had 4 beers and we had a meze platter and dessert, all for €20.50. These are these little bonbons. I don't know what they are, but I don't have any food allergies, so I'm good with it. It's like a little cake ball. It's delicious. It's like chocolate caramel, which looks like either crushed cookies or crushed cake. Really good. And chocolate sprinkles that it's rolled in.
everybody. Hi.
We're hiking the AVLAKI Gorge Trail. It's only about 40 minutes outside of Old Town Chania and the views are stunning. We've made it to the end of the trail where you'll find Katholiko Bay. It's a pristine fjord where there's people snorkeling and refreshing themselves after the hike. It's just beautiful. Look how pristine the water is. It's so clear, you can see all the way to the bottom and it's really shallow. Alright guys, that hike through AVLAKI Gorge all the way to Katholiko Bay was awesome. A moderate to difficult hike. I found it quite difficult, especially on the coming back part because you're coming up straight uphill and it's very rocky. So if you're going, bring shoes, socks, and definitely bring some water with you and probably a sandwich. That'll be your best bet. In the car, I fell asleep and Andres surprised me by stopping at this place that's already become one of my favorites here in Chania. It's called KOUKOUVAYA, a coffee, tea, and dessert restaurant sitting on top of a hill overlooking the sea and Old Town Chania. So this is the Bailey's Frappe. The difference between a frappe and a Freddo that you'll see on the menus here in Greece is that the frappe is made from instant coffee and the Freddos are made from pulled espresso. So I normally get the Freddo espressos or the Freddo cappuccinos with milk, but today I got the Kahlua frappe. Let's try this. Dude. This is good. I got it with no sugar added. It doesn't need it. The Kahlua is already sweet. It's just what I needed. Cold, frothy coffee and a little bit of that kick from the Kahlua. They put a good amount in there too. It's delicious. Look how it jiggles. Wow, that is a custard if I've ever seen it. And it's so soft and smooth. This almond brittle reminds me of a dessert we used to do back in the restaurant days. Almond brittle was big in Charlotte. The sponge is soaked with the juice from the custard. Wow, that's wonderful. The custard is milky, just enough vanilla and not overpowering. The sponge soaked with the milky liquid of the custard. The custard only has enough gelatin in there to hold it together and nothing else. And the brittle, it's definitely got some herbs in there because there's like an herbaceous, almost like a rosemary flavor inside there with the almonds. This is fantastic. There's a very special dish that I've been wanting to try with you guys. It's been on my top list of things to try while I've been here in Chania. It's called kleftiko, a lamb dish. And kleftiko is not really a specific recipe, but more of a method of preparation. The dish has its origins in way back in the day when thieves used to steal a lamb. They would dig a hole in the ground and cook it dug up so that you couldn't smell the lamb as it was being cooked. It's totally insulated in a casserole or clay pot, and it's built in with vegetables, and then when it's finished, it's extremely tender and served in a parchment paper pouch with cheese on top. And we're at Tohani to try kleftiko today. This restaurant has raving reviews. We actually came here about a week ago, didn't have the kleftiko, we had other dishes and they were fantastic. So I'm super stoked to have the kleftiko here today. We're starting with some tara masalata. This is a salted and cured fish roast spread. It's typically got a starchy base of potatoes or bread, and variants can include some garlic, but definitely lemon juice and olive oil. This is one of my favorite dips. Let's get some on some of this fresh bread. The second you bite into it, you already know you've made the right decision. This one's definitely got some really good olive oil and lemony presence to it. Some taramas are a little bit more fishy in flavor. This one is definitely not. It's very mild, but you get kind of that salty curedness from fish roe as if you had it like on some sushi or something like that. This is excellent. A little bit of olive oil never hurt, so I'm gonna pour some on there. They do have it on the table here. Let's get some of that tarama with olive oil in there. Oh wow. Outstanding. Our lamb kleftiko has arrived. Look at that. The cheese just oozing inside of this parchment. Wow, look at that, how juicy it is. It's 3 different types of cheese that go into this dish. That looks wonderful. It also comes with some fresh cut and fried patatas, fries. Nothing more fun than eating from a parchment paper. Wow, this lamb is very, very tender. See how that breaks apart? Amazing. I definitely want a piece with a little bit of that crispy cheese on there. Oh wow. Delicious. So juicy. There's so much liquid. Look at all this. That jus from the lamb from hours of sitting in a clay pot, just braising for hours. Amazing. There might even be a little bit of white wine in there too. There's like a extra depth of flavor aside from the lamb and the cheese that is fantastic. All right, I want to go in for another really cheesy, creamy bite. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Wow. It just keeps getting better. Oh, look at this little cheese glob here. It's like a little cheese curd. Oh, that's feta. It's so good. It's like this little sharp little punch of cheese, of cheesy feta goodness. Wow. This restaurant is so charming. It's nestled in one of the many alleyways you'll find throughout the Jewish quarter, and the entire restaurant is actually outside seating, so there's really no bad place to sit. It's just beautiful. And they also do live music at night, which we've seen as we've walked through here on several different nights. For our end of meal dessert, they brought us traditional raki and rakomelo, which is raki made from honey. They also brought us some yogurt pie. Whenever you ask for your bill in Greece, they tend to always bring you a dessert and some raki. I've never had the rakomelo. Let's try it. They say it's sweeter. It does have a beautiful color to it. Looks like whiskey. Ooh. Very nice. It's not too sweet. It's like very well balanced. I thought it was going to be much more syrupy. It's very good. This is the yogurt pie. Look how nice and dense that is. With looks like it's topped with some peanuts or almonds while it was baked. So good. The outside is kind of got like the sugary, crunchy crust. I love that. We've made it to the Venetian harbor. This is an area that you will not miss when you come to Chania. It is kind of like the center focal point of everywhere you go when you visit this beautiful city, and you have all the influences kind of culminating in one spot. You have like Italian restaurants, you have a mosque, There's also an Egyptian lighthouse, and then of course you have the Greek and Cretan cuisine all around you. This is a great place to come for a stroll, hang out in the morning, even come and see the sunset. I mean, you can do anything here. It's just a great place to be at any given time of day. Had to stop into one of my favorite cafes here in Chania. It's Aroma Cafe. It's also a restaurant and a bar, and they make a fantastic martini. They have a pretty big cocktail list, but I love martinis, and their dry martini is excellent. Dry, crisp, but also still very refreshing. They serve it nice and cold, and you get a nice amount of olives too. You get 3 olives. You usually don't get 3 olives unless you ask for it, but this is a great martini. We're at Taverna ELIÀ. This is our neighborhood tavern in the neighborhood of Galatas where we're staying. And it also just so happens to be our favorite taverna that we've been to in Chania. Now, they've all been great, but this place, it just really has a grip on our hearts. This restaurant is busy every night and they're open till midnight. But we know that, so we got here at 5 p.m. right when they open before it starts getting busy around 7 o'clock. We're starting with their Cretan salad. This salad is fantastic. Everything about it from beginning to end, I love this salad so much. Cretan salad, every restaurant makes it a little bit different, but this one has potatoes, tomatoes, MITRAKI cheese, a nice helping of oregano on there, fresh avocado, and these jammy boiled eggs, which are like perfect. This Cretan salad is also very much kind of like a deconstructed tacos. So you have the barley rusks as well as red onion and cucumber in here too. I'm getting some egg with some of this nice English cucumber and tomato with cheese. Oh wow, that's a bite of champions. So good. Salad is seasoned so perfectly. There's the perfect amount of salt, the perfect amount of oregano, and all of the other ingredients are so fresh and light. It's wonderful. Look at the colors of this salad. The vibrant greens, yellow, the white from the cheese, the green from the arugula and the cucumbers, and this beautiful barley rusk all coated in Cretan olive oil. Guys, I'm sure you've heard of feta cheese. It's one of my favorite cheeses. But have you heard of Mizithra? Mizithra cheese is all over Greece, but it originates in Crete. And this cheese is exquisite. It's salty, it's creamy, it's tangy, and it's all perfectly balanced. You can use it in so many applications. You can use it on this salad, kind of like if it was a feta. It's spreadable, it can be baked. It's just got so many wonderful qualities. If you haven't tried Mizithra cheese, please go to your nearest Greek market and hopefully they have some. Buy it and take it home and use it on everything. I promise you will not be disappointed. The next dish I ordered is bacalharos, which is made with salt cod, and it's shallow pan fried. And with it, I ordered scordalia. They're usually eaten together. Fantastic. It's salty, crunchy, juicy. The codfish is so juicy, and that light batter, it's just crispy enough where you have a batter, but it's not heavy. And the scordalia is garlicky, fresh, extra virgin olive oil that you can taste even through the garlic flavor, which is fantastic, and I love garlic, so the stronger the better. Last but not least, we got the moussaka. This is, of course, a traditional Greek dish that you must have when you come to Greece, and especially Crete. And it's got this beautiful, dark crust on top, sitting in a clay pot. I just took a huge scoop out of the center of the clay pot. Look in here. The meat, the bechamel, and the vegetables, the eggplant, there's carrots, and this amazing crust all the way around, even stuck to the sides. Wow, so soft. It's probably piping hot. I gotta be careful with this. So good. It's creamy, hot. All the vegetables are cooked exactly the same. As far as They've got such a nice texture and tenderness to them. But most of all, something I noticed in this moussaka especially is there's a little bit of like a nutmeg or cinnamon in there. I think it's nutmeg because it's more savory than cinnamon. And it's really coming through on it. It's not hiding in there at all. Oh wow, look how much beef there is in there. Let's get some of that potato in there. There's also eggplant. So many vegetables in here. For dessert, they brought us a panna cotta with, I believe it's honey. It's got a little bit cinnamony flavor in there. The honey tastes quite different. It might not be honey, I'm not sure. It's got kind of a more sugary syrup flavor to it. But it's still really good and it goes great with the panna cotta. Delicious. It is our last day here in Chania and I am so excited because there is a bakery that I have been eyeing since pretty much the day we got here. We packed up our stuff today and we are waiting for our bus to the airport. There is this bakery that has no name on the outside. Really, you can't really tell from the street what's going on until you really look and absorb. It is full of craftsmanship, a bakery after my own heart. And today, on our last day, we finally got to come in here. This is Red Jane. As soon as you walk in, you see the glowing pastries and breads lined up across the table, and you smell the fresh coffee being brewed. I had a moment to speak with Yanis, the manager and head baker, and he even told me that this bakery just opened in July inside of an old 1930s machinery workshop. They've renovated it to include some beautiful touches of color, only highlighting the baked products, the pastries and the breads. It's like everything just is made to bring out the beautiful colors of the work that they do here. This is their pain au chocolat and I had to try it. They look so pretty. I love the shape that they went for with these. Wow, amazing. Just as good as the ones I've had in France. The second pastry I got is actually very special and unique to Red Jane. It is the cuttings of croissant put into a tin, caramelized, baked, and then sprinkled with salt on top. Look how beautiful this pastry is. Wow. You're biting into the caramel on the top of the croissant and it's nice and soft on the inside and you get that fresh, delicate salt. So good. This Americano is amazing. I'm gonna be awake for a long time and I'm not mad about that. You guys, Chania has been our home for the last month and I cannot begin to describe what an amazing experience this has been. We've been in Greece for 2 months and spent a month of that here in Chania, in Crete. It's been our home. It's been a place that we felt extremely welcome. The people here are so kind. The food is amazing. I've felt no shortage of just wonderful food. I've been in paradise here. If you come to Crete, you must spend some time in Chania. It is not to be missed. Check out our series on Crete where we'll be exploring the other regions of the island. With that, I cannot thank you guys enough for joining me on this wonderful food tour through Chania. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to support our channel, and I will see you guys very soon. We are headed to Italy right now where we're going to be spending a month in Bologna, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I'll see you soon.